Hey guys, Fieldworthy Airsoft here. Just today we're taking a look at the 6mm Pro Shop DSR-1. There aren't a lot of takedown or disassembly videos on this gun, so I figured I'd just put one together real quick, show you guys how to take it apart, work on it, what it looks inside, and see what we find in there. First thing we're going to do is remove the bipod, just get it out of the way. Lift up on this bar, slide all the way back, and remove that. Next, we're going to remove the stock, press down this lever, pull all the way back, then remove the bolt. Then I'm going to remove the magazines. I just keep them in there to hold the gun up while I'm working on it. So inside the pistol grip, you're going to have a 5.5mm Allen wrench bolt inside of here. Unscrew that all the way. And you're going to remove the pistol grip and the trigger guard at the same time. These come apart. Next, we're going to have a 3mm Allen wrench, and we're going to remove these two screws, and we'll take that off and see what it looks like inside. So this comes off. This is what holds on your butt plate. There's this little button right here. This holds in your stock. There is a spring in there. Make sure not to lose that. Now we've got two more 3mm Allen screws right here by your trigger. I'm going to pull those out. And at the very front of the gun, you have two 5mm screws. You want to remove those. And now that you have these two screws removed, these two screws removed, and the two screws at the very front removed, now we'll just take the lower, pull it off, and now you can see the actual internals of your gun. So now we're going to take a look at the safety lever. It has a nut on one side. All you're going to do is loosen that nut up. Pull that off. And the other side slips right out. So from here, you've got a bolt here, here, and a pin here, and a pin here, which needs to be removed. The bolts do have nuts on each side, so make sure not to lose the nuts. So now I've removed the screws. As you can see from these pins, they are serrated on one side, which is the left side. So you want to make sure you pop them out from the right side of the gun. Screwdriver, punch, whatever works. They only come out one way. So you want to pop those out, and they just slide right out. Make sure you put them back in the way they came out. So now we have the screws on the top rail loosened up. I just leave them in place. Just take it off, set it aside. So now you've got your receiver. Flip this over. This comes right out. Lifts right out of the receiver, upper receiver. So this is your inner receiver. This is your hop up. This is an all plastic casing. Has screws holding it all together right here. We'll take those apart and show you what's inside. So all the screws removed. You just remove the casing, and that right there is all that is inside of your DSR. This is hop up. Screws have been removed. Press on this lever to adjust hop. Very, very simple mechanism, very simple gun. One thing to be aware of is these two nuts right here. They're what holds your gearbox together, your trigger box together. And those are just free floating and they will fall out if you're not careful. So now we're going to put this back together. One thing I have noticed with this gun, be very careful when you put these two hop-up screws back in. They tend to put pressure one side or the other. And if you put more pressure on one screw than the other, it'll turn out that your hop-up's crooked and your barrel's crooked inside your barrel, which are going to make your shots crooked. So keep an eye on that. Look down the barrel when you're tightening them. Make sure they're tightened evenly. Another thing to keep an eye out for are these two set screws. This is what holds your barrel into your hop-up. If those screws are tightened incorrectly, it'll hold your barrel crooked. So just make sure you're tightening them evenly and make sure your barrel stays straight. So when you press down here, your bucking, it goes in nice and straight into your barrel. So here she is all back together, screws in place, hop-up screws holding the hop-up in, everything aligned correctly. So there is your receiver. This is going to slip right in there like that. Line everything up. Put your bolts and your pins back in. So bolts and pins back in. Safety. This will line up with the other safety. Make sure they click together. Screw that nut in. I don't over tighten anything on these guns, especially in the plastic gearbox. All right, so we flip that back over, reattach the upper rail. All right, so we got the upper and lower. So we're gonna take this guy here, slide the posts in here, slide the top and bottom back together, put in 1, 2, and make sure to put the 2 screws back in the front. So this is your rear mechanism. It's got a slot in there. This piece, this goes in just like that. You want to put the spring in first. Put this piece in so it's in the slot. So it moves up and down. Then you want to put this plate back over it, like so. Tighten those screws down. Reinstall the pistol grip with the screw inside. So then we reinstall the bolt. Reinstall the stock. Press down on this button, slide forward. And then the last thing, just reinstall your bipod. And you're finished. Now we'll just do a quick chrono, see what it's shooting. It's 4:58. 4:26, 4:24, 4:23, and that's with the hop-up engaged. It's set for 30s right now, and that's pretty average of what I've seen on this gun. So hope you've enjoyed the video. Any questions, comments, leave it below. Thanks a lot, guys.